All right, so this one is a 45, 45, 90. And it's interesting because this side is 1. And we know it's a 45, 45, 90 because it's labeled nicely. So now again, forget, I have to be careful. Maybe I'll put a box around this to remind myself. This is the side we're looking for. And actually it really works. We got x, x, and x radical 2. This is an interesting problem. So this is not the shortest side. This same rule applies. Whenever they don't give you the shortest side, you have to first find the shortest side. And the way to do that is just set these two things equal to each other. Right there. So we go x radical 2 equals 1. So we divide both sides by radical 2. And we get x equals 1 over radical 2. I still don't know why you can't leave a radical in the denominator. It's a rule of math. I'm waiting for somebody to look it up and tell me at some point. Not right now. Anyway, so we can't leave it there. You can use the calculators for this quiz, which will be the next day I see you. And so you could put this in with the calculator, but there are some numbers, like if you go 100 over radical 2, it won't do it for you. It won't put it in radical form. So what we got, in that case, what you got to do is you multiply both sides by radical 2, or both tops of the fraction, top and the bottom, radical 2 over radical 2, and that gets you radical 2 over 2. Because the square root of 2 times the square root of 2, you can just either know that it's 2, or you can say, oh, square root of 2 times square root of 2 is square root of 4, which is 2. And this is your answer. So it's okay. If I get this wrong, I mix it up. Let's see, this is square root of 2, cursor, hat, or whatever, 2, boom. Okay, there you go. All right, let's see if we can get something a little different here. This is an interesting one. So again, this is really calculator work, but it's a 45, 45, 90. Just by looking at it, I see that. So this is x, x, and x radical 2. And again, I'm just going to remind myself, and you kind of want to do something similar on your paper. Just be careful that this is the side we're looking for at the end. So they gave me the shortest side here. So when they give you the shortest side, there's almost no work to do. You're just plugging in right there for x. So this really becomes the square root of 5 times the square root of 2. The calculator will do this for you, but these roots just multiply to the square root of 10. And that's it. That's one of your easier problems. Whenever they give you the shortest side, that's kind of the easiest problems. So that is square root 10. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay, here's another interesting one. This one we haven't seen. So now we got a square. Find the length of side x in simplest radical form with a rational denominator. So again, what we want to do, so first of all, what we want to realize is that a square, every angle is 90 degrees, right? Every angle is 90 degrees. So let's take this part of the square right here and put it over here. So we've got something like this. All right, we got a right angle here, and each of these has to be 45 because the square, everything is cut in half perfectly. So we got a nice 45, 45, 90. This is 4 over here, and this is what we're looking for. This is our mystery side. So we do our pattern. We got x, x, and x radical 2. So to solve it, we just go x radical 2 equals 4. Divide both sides by radical 2. We get x equals 4 over radical 2. The n over d button is the calculator button to use. Make sure when you use your calculator that it's in math print. You would hit the mode, and then the bottom row should say math print. Make sure that's black. In this case, if we're just doing it by hand, we're just going to multiply by the square root of 2 over the square root of 2, which is going to get 4 radical 2 over 2. And then this 2, when it divides, it only divides with this. It doesn't mix with this. They're like different entities. They don't mix. So it just goes only into the 4. It becomes 2 radical 2. And that is your final answer. Let's just make sure, be careful. I was looking for this side. Yeah, that's, and it's weird because this looks smaller. 4 radical 2 over 2, 1.4 times 2 is 2.4 times 2. Oh yeah, that makes sense, because this side should be smaller than this. Okay. So we got 2 radical 2, and I think I'm going to stop the video and see if there's questions for a minute. 2 rad 2. Okay. It should be about 6 minutes, I think.